Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. I got a friend of mine to come forward and have a Q&A with us about how it is to get into an MLM and then leaving the MLM and the aftermaths of it with friends, family, and what he learned from it, and some knowledge to impart to some newer people coming into the military and how to stay away from it. So I hope you enjoy. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, Chris, thanks for joining me and taking time out of your day, dude.
No problem. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you know the topic. It's a it's one that kind of hurts some of us that's been roped into one of these, but it's how MLMs roped you in, and kind of tell us the process of what happened, how it happened, and what you learned from it, and what would you tell younger soldiers, sailors, or basically any service member that is being enticed by some of these companies. So I'm just going to give it to you, bro.
Okay. Well, I'll start off by talking about what an MLM is. It's portrayed as what's called a multi-level marketing company. Now, that's just really a fancy way of saying all the money goes to the top and almost none trickle down. And in essence, it is a pyramid scheme, even though people will argue night and day that it is not. In its heart and soul, that's basically what it is. It's just a way for people to give money to something and have very minimal gain from it, unless it's probably something that they got involved early and were able to get a whole bunch of people to join. But I got involved right after our deployment in 2013. And you know how it is. You're in deployment and you don't know who to trust. You have these ideas of when I go home, things are going to be like this, it's going to be like that, it's going to be like this. So after our post-deployment leave, like around that Christmas time, I ran into an old high school friend. We ended up going to Applebee's. And in my head, early 20s, I'm like, hey, let's go to Applebee's. We're going to eat. And then afterwards, we're going to go to a bar. We're going to go to a club. We're going to go have fun. We're going to go do stuff. So it was kind of weird. Like there were some little weird social cues that I was picking up on. For example, she kept saying hi to people that, it's like, do you know the entire staff here? Like, you used to work here? What's going on? And I kept, when we were done eating and they had like sports on the television and we were engaged in that and in conversation. When I felt like it was time to go, she kept, no, let's stay. And sometime later, the manager came up and he was like, hey, everyone, there's going to be a meeting in the back room. Which to me, I'm just like, all right, this is probably like a staff meeting. But then she gets up, she's like, let's go. I'm like, wait, what? What's going on? So I was shown this presentation of this one MLM company called World Ventures that basically sold people the idea of you can go on vacation for the rest of your life and make money by getting other people to go on these vacations with you. That had a whole bunch of incentives, like you can get a car, you get discounted airfare, but within time you realize that's just a veil of shadows that they put over you. That's the illusion. So me, I got all this deployment money, I got all this money in my bank, and then I hear go on vacation, go have fun, get people to sign up, you get car, you get money, all this stuff. I was like, all right, this sounds like a pretty good gig. Like in my head, who wouldn't want that dream being sold to them? So I joined. Afterwards, the person that I was there with and a bunch of like people that were also there, we ended up going out, having a good time. And then after that leave, because at that point, I didn't really give it too much thought. I tried to pitch the idea to some family members and who would become my future fiance, but nobody joins. And it was weird because in my head, I'm like, this is a great idea. Wouldn't you want to be part of this? And they all kind of saw through that. But it was weird because no one told me what it was. No one was like, hey, just, here's some advice. You should leave that because X, Y, and Z. No one told me that. So in my head, I'm like, all right, this thing is still awesome. And this was the first time in my life I ever encountered this, because who would expect, someone that you knew for years in high school would do something like hook you up with a pyramid scheme?
Did you feel betrayed at the end of it when you realized what it was?
It's like after I left and confronted that person and everyone in their upline, like who got them to join, I did feel betrayed, and to this day, I still don't talk to any of them. And a lot of that also has to deal with the mentality that they herd you into of how to alienate people who don't want to support your dream or support your business. But I'll get into that. So afterwards, I ended up going back to Florida. A couple of months went by. I was able to get 2 people to join. And it was kind of weird because I was so new at it, I didn't quite understand it. So what they do is when you first join, they try to get you to put all your money to go to these training seminars, to go have these audiobooks, to listen to these selected podcasts. And all it is people talking about how this company changed their life, but they don't talk about exactly how. They're like, you got to keep grinding, you got to keep working at it. You've got to buy into the product. And they also teach you how to close the deal and how to become a salesperson with this. But a lot of the times the tactics that they tell you to implement are very immoral. I think the only honesty I heard out of any of those training seminars was one guy who was like, if someone tells you it's a pyramid scheme, just say, yeah, it is. And this is the first time I heard that. So he was like, yeah, it's a pyramid scheme and you should join too. You should get on in it. It just started, you get all this money, da, 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 da. So other than that one exception, there were a lot of people trying to angle it in different ways to make it seem like something that it wasn't. Like I remember this one guy, he compared his journey in the company to the prophet Ezekiel from the Bible and trying to say that this is something that, God wants. He wants you to get into this company and he wants everyone to be a part of it. And he was just portraying a very, I would say, for lack of a better word, misguided view of that whole religious text.
Yeah, it was you who told me when we were speaking about this. We were at another Broken Egg Cafe in Destin, and I remember the conversation. And because I was roped in as well, and I let everyone know in my first video, and you were talking about the whole God verses they were using in their seminars. I only went to one, and I told you about it, and then you immediately responded with like, you know what? Even the devil can quote the Bible. And to this day, by the way, to this day, I still use what you told me to other people. I was like, oh, wow, somebody quoted the Bible at this little presentation. And it made me think exactly to what you told me, and especially with this. But keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's so good. It's so good. So I would go to these training seminars and the energy of the people there, it's like a blissful party environment where everyone's like, this thing just changed my life, but no one really goes into too much into detail, like not too many specifics on what exactly your step-by-step process should be. Everyone just says, get people to join so that your monthly dues are waived. And if those people get people to join, eventually you can get something like a BMW or a Mercedes or like a house. And they make it sound good and they make it sound like you're going to own this thing, but it's not. It's a lease. And as soon as people stop joining and people start leaving, you got to be the one out of your own pocket to pay for that. And you're going to see your money's going to drop really quick in your bank account. One thing that I kind of felt that got me targeted specifically was because of the guaranteed money that we got as military personnel. You're getting paid the 1st and the 15th. So you got money coming in. And then, so you're like, it's not a big deal if, I don't get people to sign up this month or that month. It's a lot more of a grind for people, I would say, in the civilian world who doesn't have that luxury of, hey, I'm still getting my 2 checks every month. So that's also part of why I was in it for like almost a year. It took me about a year to wake up from the veil of shadows.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question though. Actually, I'm going to include Easton in this. So Easton, if somebody came up to you and said, hey, you can get cars, you can go to these seminars, all you're going to do is dance and party, and you're going to get pretty much make a lot of money, would that make you want to go to that?
No.
Be honest.
No.
No. Well, if you didn't know what everything my friend was telling you or telling us, would be honest? Would that have been like, yeah, I'll go try it out and let me try it out for a sec, or what? Be honest.
Try it out for a sec.
Okay, so he might see it, which is cool, but again, just for your, going on almost 10 minutes of informing just us and everyone else who will watch this, if a 6-year-old could at least understand this is a scam, this is really good. So it's kind of a check on learning for him. And again, thank you for keep saying this. But my question to you is, what would you tell if, say, you and I were going through basic training again, not knowing any of this, and if those future you, knowing that you're seeing young us getting enticed by, attractive people, party attitude, and saying, come to this seminar, and this trap, what would you tell us?
I would warn you guys. I would tell you guys my experience. And the number one thing I would tell you is pay attention to your bank account. Because even if you get money coming in, and let's say in the beginning you're successful, it can only reach a certain level before people either start leaving. You just can't get people to join. So you're going to see that you're going to start losing money really quick. And another weird thing about like MLMs, a lot of times you get this herd of people that will join one, then somebody will go to another one, and then they'll get people to join that other one.
I see.
So it's kind of like a moving herd of people who just keep getting involved in it. And a lot of times it's a first come, first serve. So like a good thing to pay attention to also is how long that thing has been around, because a lot of the older ones, they thrive on having people as their sales personnel for a very long period of time. Some of the older ones like Amway and stuff. And then another thing they kind of do to like validate themselves is they have like incentives with other businesses. Like, come join us because you'll get a discount at this store, or you'll get discounted prices on this one item, like, like Tide bleach or something like that. But the biggest thing I would say is, if they weren't trying to sell you something and you just saw these people acting how they are acting, wouldn't you think something was off? Like maybe these people are on drugs or something?
Yeah, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time you see them, it's a celebration, it's a party. Like, yeah, it could be really fun. But then after a while in your head, you're going to be like, this isn't normal.
So here's a question. You talked about subscriptions. How much was a subscription that you can remember paying for that MLM?
I don't remember off the top, but I remember it was like a one-time fee that was like maybe something like $100-something, maybe $200. And then your monthly fee, if I remember correctly, is like maybe $80-$90. It's been, that was back in 2013, 2014. That was a long time ago, but it was something in that range.
Wow. So $80-$90 times 12. It's a lot of money a year to give up.
It's $1,100, $1,200. And then that's not including the money that you got to spend to travel. Like, I remember a lot of like the regional training seminars that I went to, I drove to them. So that's my own gas money that I was paying. They told us that we would have like discounted airfare prices. And I remember this one trip I went to, like the only real solid vacation package that I actually went on was to Hawaii. And their discounted prices, like honestly, after it was done and I was kind of still looking at it, I probably would have saved more money just going through like, Kayak, hotel.com, those big websites, those type. I think the airfare, if I remember it was like $1,100 too. That was just plain, just to get there.
Damn.
So me just getting there, that's $1,100 out of my own pocket. And this is that I went with somebody who was also involved in the company, and I was very generous enough to pay their airfare. So that's $2,000 for two people to get there.
So here's what I think, because it was a business. They said it was a business. Have you ever asked any of the other agents at the time, hey, if you're a business, what state are you licensed in? What's your S Corp or LLC name? And, what's your, if you don't mind sharing, what's your annual revenues? What's your gain and loss profit? Did you ever think about asking those questions if they keep professing this is this great business opportunity?
I do remember asking one person that was like in my upline, how much do you make?
Okay. Like
solidly, like how much do you make? And they were like, it depends. Like, depends on what? It was like, it depends on how much you grind and how many people you can get to join. That was somebody that was more established. So he was getting way more money than someone that was just starting out like me. On average, most people lose money. The best way to make money in that, if that's your thing, is to get people to sign up for that, is usually in the beginning. because if you just look at it from like a numbers point of view, you could only go so far down before you have everybody on the planet joining this one thing. For licenses and stuff like that, I was too naive at the time to ask about that. But, you know, as I got older and got to reflect on it, yes, that's a very important thing to ask. Where'd you get your, like, what state is your LLC? Tax information, you know, whether you're doing a W-2, W-4, like 1099, that kind of stuff. At the time, I just didn't pay attention to it because I bought into the whole, I left before I looked, and I bought into the whole, I'm gonna just party and make money. Because, you know, maybe I was on civilization too long. I don't know.
So, but he got roped into it, buddy. You see what he was saying? He didn't worry about the details, and he thought about the attractive people, as did I, and the partying and making money. That sounds fun, doesn't it?
And then, you know, like army people aren't like military personnel. We, a lot of times on our free time, we spend partying already.
Very true.
So like you could be at base, you could have your duty station, and then your Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're going to be at the bar or the club looking to have a good time.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. And I'll close it out after this, but I was on staff duty once, and I was just checking the barracks and they're on the compound. And, I noticed this dude who I know does not live in the barracks, but I recognize him. I know he's in the unit. And, I noticed him go to the barracks and was like, hey, what are you doing here? And then this like looks like either an E4 or E3, you know, escorts him to his room. And I'm just like, wait a minute. I know who he is. He's one of those MLM guys for the same one. And I don't want to mention names. And I'm like, I had a choice. I was like, I can say something, but I'm not. And I actually, I don't kick myself for it. I'm hoping that person got out of it, you know, but I'm just kind of like, wow, this stuff runs deep, man. You know, going to the barracks on a Saturday night. Wow, your hustle is strong. But
it's about the grind.
Yeah.
Closing the deal
And freaking screwing people out of money, sure. But yeah, dude, hey, any closing comments for everyone else, man, before we sign off?
On a final note, one thing that you notice if you've been in an MLM for like a period of time, they put you into this mindset of believing in this because they want you to stay motivated. And then when people don't support that, they have you they portray it on you that you should not associate with them in any way, shape, or form because they don't support your dream, that they're a dream killer in a kind of way. So like, let's say you try to get your mom to join and your mom is like, no, you know, that's your mom. If it's a friend, they would try to groom you in a way that, you know, maybe you should stop associating with them because they're not going to lead to your success. And nothing should make you do that to the people that you care about and care about you. You shouldn't push them aside for something like that. You know?
I really appreciate you touching on that. I think that's probably one of the most important points as well. You know,
yeah.
So
it did cause me to like close off relationships with certain people. A lot of people that I knew growing up, because of this, I burned a bridge with them that to this day I don't talk to them. And because of it, it also allowed me to burn bridges with the people who got me involved. And I'm pretty sure like if they're still involved with this kind of stuff, they wouldn't talk to me. They'd be like, he doesn't chase dreams, he's not a dream chaser.
Well, if you leaving the MLM makes you a dream killer, I'm a dream murderer then. So
yeah, just go on rampage.
Yeah,
and then the thing, I've also since then been pitched by one other MLM company. It's one of the really large ones, and it was my fiance's friend. She got involved in it and she pitched us, and it was crazy because it was almost the same thing. That they sat us down in a room. There was a presentation. They had somebody who was very successful in it talk about their experience. And the whole time I'm turning red as a tomato because in my head, I'm like, I know what this is. I see past it. Everyone's happy. I'm the only guy in the room who's upset. My fiance is looking at me like, are you okay? Like, why are you so upset? Like, your face is starting to turn red. And mind you, I shaved. At the time I had my beard. I shaved like 2 days ago. I still have my burly beard. And you could still tell like the rage is just all over my face. Afterwards, you know, we were introduced to this guy. I ended up making a mental note of things he said, how he dressed, and his demeanor. The second time I saw him, I remember he had this $600 sterling silver watch. It's one of those perpetual motion watches.
I know those. Yeah.
Of that. So the next time I saw him, he thought we were just going to talk straight about business and all this and me asking questions. The first words out of my mouth that completely threw him off was, "Where's your sterling watch?" He's like, "What?" I'm like, "The Swedish watch that you had, the $600 watch." Because I knew what it was because I have the same one. He had a gold version, I had a silver version. So I saw that and immediately was like, I'm going to throw him off with this. And even my fiance was like, because, you know, we tend to be forgetful, you know, TBIs, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So when I asked that, even she was like, "Wait, you remember his watch?" And I was like, "I'm telling you, watch." So then when he started talking to us on a more personal basis, I threw him off with a lot of questions that I should have asked the very first time the situation happened to me. And one thing that he tried to talk to us was, when you dedicate your time to something, that shows how important it is to your life. So to succeed in a business like this, you need to dedicate a lot of your time. So I told him in a very nice way that I don't want to be part of it. Was, this is not something that I want to dedicate my time to. So immediately in his head, he clicked. He's like, I can't close on this guy.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for all that. And we'll probably talk about that the next time we talk, and we will talk again. Okay. Okay. But hey man, enjoy the rest of your day. Easton, want to say bye to my friend?
Bye.
Hey, tell him thank you for your service too.
Thank you for your service.
No problemo.
All right, man. Hey, you have a good rest of your day. Take care, brother. Until next time.
All right. Peace.
Later.
I don't do it by the book, no, I do my own thing. That's why every single hook got them singing like me. And I ain't in any rush, cause I'm finally getting paid. Don't believe in any luck, I believe I'm self-made, yeah.